spend more than $55 million to add to their facilities and add equipment to increase their production of various components for automotive engines. And they will plan to hire as many as 150 people over the next 3 years for this program. The part that we're looking at right now is the grading and drainage work, which gives them the building pads so that they can construct an expansion of their building and grow their business. We have advertised publicly for bids on this project. We have received competitive bids. I have a bid tabulation I'd like to distribute to you, if that's all right. We had a mandatory pre-bid conference at the Molly site to acquaint each and every member of the bidders about the scope of work and to explain to them the procedures for working on site and the safety requirements and so forth. We had 11 contractors that attended that pre-bid meeting. The bids were opened on the 28th of February, and we received 5 competitive bids for this work. The low bid for this work is East Tennessee Turf and Landscape, which is a Morristown company. Their lump sum price for base bid is $523,000. This is under budget for this project. We have investigated their licensing and their certifications with PDOT as a contractor. They have the appropriate licenses for this work. We have met with them to review their execution plan on how they would perform the grading and drainage work and do this in a short time frame because of the importance to Molly to be able to build their building and actually produce product for their customers. So we have reviewed that, and it's our recommendation to award the contract to East Tennessee Turf and Landscape in the amount of $523,000.
If they're $160,000 on the next bid, they
Yes, sir.
left a lot on the table.
They did. We've discussed that with them, and they're prepared to be bonded and insured to do that work, and we'd like to get the council permission to award this contract and work with Economic and Community Development to get the work started for this fast-track economic development project.
That's right.
Just for clarification, this bid's coming through council because the grant is to the city, but we have an agreement with Molly that they will pay the required match, so there's no city local dollars in the project. We have been coordinating with the consulting engineering with Molly to make sure this is moving forward, and everybody's on the same page, and I believe that Molly does endorse this bid selection as well.
That's right. That's correct.
So given all that, we would endorse the award the bid to East Tennessee Turf and Landscape for $523,000.
Are there any questions for council at this point? Thank you. All right, we have a motion from Councilmember Jenkins. Do we have a second? We have a second from Councilmember Lavelle. Are there any questions by council?
Do you have a projected date on this?
We have a which date?
Do you have a date, a projected date for initiating the project and completion?
We'd like to initiate the project in early April, and the project will complete in 120 days. After 45 days, the pads would be prepared for Molly to begin the construction of their building, and then the completion of the project will follow along. But it's important to get their general construction contract started.
Any further discussion by council? Hearing none, please enter your vote. Seven yeas, no nays. Next item will be 9C, Board Commission Appointments. City Council consideration of Mayor Thomas's nomination to Morristown Utility Commission for a 5-year term to expire on August 1st, 2016. Nominee Joel Heiss. This time, Chair will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to reject that.
We have a motion to reject
I second
by
that motion.
Councilmember LaBelle. Is there
You're
a second?
fine.
I second that motion.
We have a second, Councilmember Garrett. Is there any discussion?
I tried to get that motion, but there wasn't up there.
Okay.
We hadn't swapped yet.
I'd like to say, I'd still like to see this go to Nashville and come back on referendum for the people, city of Morristown. Plus, for an election, it just costs, I know the paper quoted Jeff Gardner or somebody saying it was like $15,000. It's just $250 to put it on the August election. That's compared with the email from jail, so $250. So. Like to see, still like to see that.
Any other comments by council members? All right, so that we don't mess up on this, if you're voting yes, you're voting to not elect Joel. If you're voting no, you're voting that you would like to elect. All right, any further questions? Hearing none, please enter your vote. All right, 5 yeas, 2 nays. Motion to deny passed. Next issue, 9B. This will be to approve renewal of a certificate of compliance for Peter Walling, owner of the retail package store located on 2304 Morningside Drive. You should have in your packet the reasons for this, but the administrator would like to cover it.
We are clarifying the process for awarding these certificates to make sure that the council is in the loop and informed about the process, and we would just indulge, or ask for your indulgence to change the process for clarification for the council for the process.
Any questions by council?
It's just bookkeeping is what it is.
Yeah, that's all it is. They have to do it every year. So if there are no questions, Chair will entertain a motion.
I'll make a
Approval of
motion.
renewal.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
We have a motion from Councilmember Bell. We have a second.
I second that.
We have a second by Councilmember Carroll. Is there any discussion by council? Hearing none, please enter your vote. Seven yeas, no nays, approval for renewal. Next item is again the approval for renewal of certificate of compliance for Larry Bolton, owner of the retail package store located on 1405 West Morris Boulevard, doing business as Seller Incorporated. Are there any questions by council? If there are none, at this time, Chair will entertain a motion to approve renewal.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
We have a motion by Councilmember LaBelle. Do we have a second?
I second the
We
motion.
have a second by Councilmember Garrett. Garrett, is there any discussion? Hearing none, please enter your vote. 7 yeas, no nays. We'll now hear from the city administrator.
The first item on my report this evening is is in your package. There's a line item transfer in the budget. The code provides for authority for me to move money, small amounts of money within the budget, and that's the purpose of this report, is to inform you of 2 changes. One's in the sewer area to move to the proper account codes. It's an accounting situation. The second one reflected here is moving some money to purchase some computers in the inspection department. The computers went down. We're simply moving some money from utilities to pay for those 2 computers. So that's just for your information. While we're talking about the budget, you can look at the department head's eyes and see how fun they're having preparing their budget request. We are in the midst of beginning our budget process. I had hoped to be able to give you a rough draft calendar this evening, but I have not yet done so. I'll be circulating that here as soon as we can get that done. But probably you need to be looking some time in early May to consider the proposed budget. Also, in terms of things yet to come that you'll be looking at very shortly, This morning in Nashville, the MTAS benchmarking report was issued. We'll be providing that to you very shortly, letting you know where we stand with regard to some of our sister localities across the state in several areas of performance in terms of both efficiency and effectiveness. I would like to remind council and the public that we are happy to be having our dedication of our first dog park in town. It'll be at J.C. Park Friday at 3, weather permitting. Keep your fingers crossed that it does not rain on us. But we would love for you to show up and bring your companion along to have a good time at the park. And finally, just to remind council and let the public know, following the meeting today, we will have a brief work session to discuss the contract for the fixed base operator, that is the person who manages our airport. So there will be a short work session in this room on that subject following the meeting. And that's all I have today.
Next item on the agenda will be communications and petitions. This is the portion of the meeting where members of the audience may speak to any subject. Just be sure to follow the guidelines, no stomping your feet, disrespectful remarks. And we will now open the mic for communications and petitions. If you have something you'd like to address council on, please state your name, your address, and we're limited to 3 minutes.
Good evening. I'm Taylor Ward. I live at 713 East 2nd North Street here in Morristown. Might I ask for a point of clarification before I get started on the agenda? But for tonight, at the last meeting, it seemed like we had 3 times for public speaking, but there's 2. Okay. Well, I'll go to number 2.
Mayor, excuse me, 3, you
Yeah.
count public hearings.
Oh, well, yeah, we can, but just remarks to address,
But
other
that's,
than public hearings, we have to.
you're right, but he wanted clarification. I believe that there are 3 times people can step.
Oh, okay, very good. You understand that?
Thank you. Basically, I just wanted to mention a few things that had come up a little earlier. I've been in touch with quite a few of the members of the state legislature concerning this bill change for our charter. And it would appear to me, from talking to these people, that there has been a rather heavy push by our 2 local representatives to get this charter change amended, to get it changed in such a way that it will not come back to the public as a referendum. And in a very nice conversation that I had with Mr. Miller this week, it seems as though the point of contention is if it comes back to a referendum, to the 3,202 people that passed this charter some 10 years ago, that it most likely will be passed again. And the fear of that evidently is driving this thing a little harder through the state legislature. And in talking with him, he said the point has been made by the local councilmen that are pushing to get this charter changed, that if it comes back and is passed as a referendum, then we'll be in this deadlock from now on. Well, that's not the case. The case will be clearly handled during the next election. And the majority that they now enjoy with a 5-2 most likely will be changed. And that was presented in the discussion that I had with Mr. Miller. And the last time I was up speaking, along with Full House, I read in the paper the very next day that the citizens were not expressing their heartfelt feelings about you folks up here. And believe me, I love every one of you, especially this one right here. And I'm just absolutely appalled that we're having all these troubles right now. But for us to be accused of railing in the Tribune as opposed to expressing our ideas was a little demeaning. And hopefully the media will exercise the same guidelines that have been forced on us, willingly accepted. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comment. Are there any comments, any further comments?
Carl Murphy, 1101 West Road. Mayor Thomas, sir. I try to go by some council's kitty rules, though it's below my standard. I haven't called names just to pacify some, even though the nameplates face me. I know public communication rules, but some here seem to set their own rules while others speak. You, Mayor, ask the audience for no talking while citizens speak. Does this include the council, or do they put themselves above us? Last meeting, during my talk, number 30, I addressed the city lawyer. I asked for his opinion on an amended agenda for all to hear. While reading my concerns of the second amended agenda to the young lawyer, I had to stop and call his attention back to me. As council center, had city lawyer engaged in a conversation. I know most questions and concerns will be addressed later, as the mayor said. I just put it on record. I thought lawyer was here to offer or give advice, not take advice during public talks. I have a copy of my concerns on the second amended agenda that I covered in the February 21st meeting for Mr. Jessup, as no one else has agreed to deal with it. It could be part of their game plan to recall on the technicality if things don't go their way later. Copy will have what I said to the lawyer, word for word. Only part missing is when I had to get lawyer's attention, as that wasn't scripted. I don't blame this young lawyer. It's a council person trying to run the show. Had this council person worked as hard correcting known sewer problems 10 to 15 years ago, as it does showing disrespect to working class citizens trying to speak here, and our mayor trying to do what he run on, the citizens of Morristown